Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Duke on Twitch. Back today with a donation deck list. It's been a while. I've been off for a few weeks just because life's been pretty busy, work's been pretty busy, and I've been working on just some testing for a event that I played on the weekend in Melbourne, which was the Eternal Masters event, which was really cool. It was hosted by Games Portal. It was a 3-day event. Day 1 was Highlander, which I believe had 107 players, and then the last 2 days were Legacy and Modern, both capping out at 64 players, which is pretty sweet. I went 4-2 in Legacy, which was pretty cool, going down to Thassa's Oracle, Thought Lapse, and Food Chain. Shout out to Grid GM, who is a constant in the chat, going up against Cephalid Breakfast, 8-cast. It's been a big week. Cephalid Breakfast, 8-cast, and 2 other decks that I wish I could name right now. But yeah, it was a fantastic event. Really run really smoothly, which is nice. But it's nice to be back online. And this is a pretty interesting brew. Hey Northern Angel. This is from Christian from the Zenith Discord, who wanted to look at a show and tell list, or I should say a Maverick list, that also plays show and tell. So I've given it the name of Preschool, as it involves small creatures and finishes off with show and tell, which is pretty cool. I will say, in a competitive environment, it's usually not a great idea to go half and half on 2 decks. And I think a really good example of this is Eldrazi Taxes, where you have a deck that is probably not as powerful as a full Eldrazi deck or a full Death and Taxes deck. You're probably better going with one or the other instead of trying to mesh them together. And this could be the same, but I'm definitely willing to try it out because it looks really fun. It's obviously something that people won't expect. And it has some pretty cool lines as well, especially with Cunning Wish. This is a really interesting card because although it costs 3 mana, a lot of the cards that we can get that might get early opponents are free spells in Mindbreak Trap or Surgical Extraction. And then just for an additional mana, we can go and get something like Flusterstorms against any combo decks, Swords to Plowshares, or Prismatic Ending against creature decks, which is really nice. So pretty keen to see how that goes. There was a few iterations of this list that we went back and forth on, and we ended up playing a Brainstorm version. And Brainstorm is a card that I think worked pretty well in Maverick generally. You have a lot of shuffle effects, and it really helps with an issue of the deck, which is with Maverick, you have to play with the hand you keep. And that might sound pretty simple, but in this day and age, there's a lot of decks that don't have to keep their cards that they kept in the opening in their hand for the first few turns, mainly due to cards like Brainstorm. So if you draw something like Collect Oof and you're up against Elves, if you're on traditional Magic or Maverick, bad luck. You know, that's just going to be a 2-2 for 2 mana. But with Brainstorm, you can hopefully shuffle it away with Green Sun Zenith or our fetch lands or now the Reliquary, which is really cool. And hopefully get a card that's going to have a bigger impact on the game. So that's pretty sweet. We do have some lines to win the game from the sideboard. What we really want to show and tell in is Omniscience, which allows us to play everything for free. And we can get shared summons from the sideboard to go and fetch up Emrakul and Grizzlebrand, which is pretty nice. Yeah, this should be really cool to play. I'm going to play it like a Maverick deck with probably a combo finish, not like a combo deck with a mid-range finish. We also have Boseiju in the sideboard, which I thought was kind of cool tech because we can find it with Knight of the Reliquary, so we can find it with Green Suns to an extent. And I think that's really good against the blue decks. So they're going to bring in some sort of Flusterstorm package or some sort of counter magic package. But otherwise, the deck is pretty well aligned. I went for consistency here. I did make some last minute tweaks to things like Cunning Wish going up to 3 copies, Omniscience going up to 2 copies. We were playing Moon Blessed Cleric, which is a 3-drop, 2 and a white for a 2/2. When it comes into play, you can search your library for an enchantment and put it on top of your library. So if you want to go find Omniscience, you can. But I didn't feel like it had high enough impact to make it. I'd rather just play an extra copy of Cunning Wish and Omniscience and hopefully see them. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, really nice to be back playing some Magic. Hopefully this league goes okay. All right, we're playing play points. Nice gameplay. Very cool. Might have to just resize here quickly. All right. Hey, Vegeta, welcome. All right, so I can actually move this out, I believe. There we go. Up against the Yorion deck. Okay. This is definitely an interesting hand. So we have 2 things to put in with a show and tell, but no show and tell, unfortunately. We do have a green source in Boseiju. But then nothing really great against what I'm going to assume is either Cephalid Breakfast or Death and Taxes, given the deck's recent success. So I'm actually going to mulligan this. Okay, I don't mind this. Probably here. We want the Forest and the Green Suns. We want the library to kind of reset the board. I think it's just going to be the Eldamri's call, but Eldamri is kind of cool. Hey, Master G, a huge thank you for the 3-month sub. Too kind. And hey, Evil Green. Hey Vader, welcome. This is a tricky one. I think it's just the endurance here. It's between endurance and the Eldamri's call for me. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be the endurance. A tough one. Scolding Ton, okay. Hey Panda. 20 months. Too good. Too good. Thank you very much. Okay. Looking like Portent. Okay. Interesting. With Yorion. You like sending back Call? Yeah, that's fair enough. I do like that Call isn't card disadvantage. That's always nice. Ooh, okay, well there's the show and tell. And that was kind of the call of like, do I keep this to try to draw into this? So here we're just going to go Forest into Dryad Arbor. But we do want to find a fetch land over time to try to get towards the ability to get white mana and blue mana. Force is fine. Pitching it to Fairy. Okay. Okay, nice. The deck is coming together. As it should, right? What I don't want to see here is a Narset. A Narset would be pretty tough. That's really our way to do something here. Tough, tough. Okay. I don't mind that. So we know they have Spell Pierce. We know about Spell Pierce. To Fairy. Do they have a white source? They're thinking. New Twitch account? Ah, they plane cycle into this. Okay. And hey, Luke, very cool to see you guys, and especially yourself, over the weekend. Some cool times. I really enjoyed our modern game. Nice and back and forth, and very much like 1 to 2 turns difference in lethal, which is very cool. Very much appreciated it. So I kind of hope they tap out, because I can't currently play around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if I draw a land, using the Knight, I can actually play around Spell Pierce with the Show and Tell, which is very cool. Yeah, that game was sweet. That game was very cool, especially with the Croxer. Croxer destroyed me. Oh, okay. Ah, not the land that I want. Not the land that I want, unfortunate. Okay. This is a tough one. I don't want to attack the Narset because I want to use Knight to find a blue source. I do want to play the Dryad Arbor. I'm just wondering if I want to use the Eldamri's Call. But then I don't really have anything for the Show and Tell. So I feel like I just have to play the Dryad Arbor out, hold the Knight up for a fetch land, and then we can hopefully Show and Tell in Omniscience, and then call for Emrakul and attack. Expressive Iteration is a pretty good card. But yeah, making it all the way to the finals is very, very cool. I like that a lot. Dress down. Alright, well now I need to fetch. I think I'm going to get rid of the Dryad Arbor. But it does get rid of the Narset, which is nice. So there's potential for actually losing the forest. Yeah, I'm just getting a fetch here. I'm just going to get a Windswept Heath because it can get the blue lands. I don't want to show the Misty just in case my opponent thinks of it. Okay. They bounce the Knight. Oh, they're gonna Brainstorm. Okay. Okay, so now the now the Spell Pierce isn't online, unless they find a land, which surely they will find a land here. Oh. Potentially Swords to Plowshares on the Arbor just to save the Knight or the Teferi. But they can do it at instant speed, so... I guess they might want to take us off mana here. Yeah, this brew is pretty cool. I do like that you don't have to go all in on one piece of the combo. Like you do have the Maverick plan as well, but it's definitely tough. March this. Okay. They're down to 4 cards? All right. Let's hope this actually does what we want. Ah, no! Classic. All right. Yeah, they could have definitely put the PS back. That's very true. Back to basics is pretty strong. Now it's probably just a case of playing land drops when we draw them and just trying to see as much of our opponent's deck as possible. Hey, Runcore, welcome. Mystic is pretty strong. Eternal Weekend was really cool. Or Eternal Masters was really cool. Really cool just to catch some people that I haven't seen in a few years. Play some competitive Magic as well was really nice. A friend of yours is building Green White Depths? Very cool. The logic behind the 3 Sylvans is that it's a really good turn 1 play with Mox. And it allows you just to get that advantage in cards, hopefully before your opponent has something like a turn 1 Prismatic Ending. Or a Narset or a Hull Breacher. Usually with a Mox you can get under that on the play, which is nice. This is actually pretty tough, because we can't actually draw both Show and Tell and a 3rd land, so we are just dead here. Tough. So the one hard part here is knowing how to board. I don't mind the Paradox Zone. I don't mind dropping a... they are playing a Yorion version. The Oof can definitely go out. The Uro's nice, the Knight's nice, Knight of Autumn is fine against the Back to Basics. Ramanap is probably where I can see something coming out. The Cradle can most likely come out as well. I do like the Force of Vigors as well. I probably just want 1 and then keep 1 for the Cunning Wishes. That's kind of cool that you can just keep 1 and then you kind of have four versions, which is pretty nice. And I don't mind an ending just because of the Planeswalkers. Like, I'd still love to keep the library in and then just have more answers to the Narsets. But I think that's going to be it. All right. Boseiju, of course. This is actually the match that I want the Boseiju for. Now this is going to be one of the awkward hands where it's like, I just don't think it does enough in the early game that I'd rather draw into Show and Tell later on. A 1-lander with 2 mana dorks. There's a better 5 here. Okay. I guess we can go like a... Because I think at a 5, I kind of have to keep the Eldamri's Call and the Paradox Zone as like my end game. And the Call can just go and get a good 3-drop. I think I drop here the Show and Tell and a Misty. Actually, I think I drop an actual land, because a Misty is relevant. Either Dryad Arbor or getting an extra land to the bin for night. Show and Tell could put in the zone. Yeah, maybe it's like these two. I don't mind this. The only thought is, what are my chances of drawing a 3rd land by turn 3? They're pretty high. Like, is it... Like, what if I keep these and drop the 2 jewels and just keep the 2 Misties? I don't mind it. We have a pretty high chance of hitting the third land. That I could keep this. I'm pretty keen to do this. Okay. Yeah, I think any sort of 5 against this sort of deck is going to be really tough to get there. And I think cheesing them is always where I got to be, so... This is a tough one. I don't want to take 2 lands out of my deck, but I also don't want to do anything here. Like, if I don't draw a land and draw like another 3-drop, I kind of want to Eldamri's Call here just for a creature. Like a Noble Hierarch. I'm going to get 1 basic in Forest. And then go for Tundra. That gives me all my colors. I wouldn't mind this being countered either. Spell Pierce, okay. Yeah, and this is the greed for not keeping a 3rd land, but here we are. Okay. I think here I actually hold up the Cunning Wish. Yeah. Also, if they have like an end step Hull Breacher, I do want to have the Swords to Plowshares at the ready. Timeless Dragon, okay. Yeah, a bait on the or a counter spell on the Cunning Wish would be really nice. Okay. I don't want to give them the information of knowing what I get, so... Okay. I think we just get Fluster here. There was a small downside in getting the planes there, because if we don't draw a blue land here, we can't hold up Fluster, Wish, Show and Tell. And there is a world where I should just be patient here, but yeah. Like maybe it's worth waiting that one turn. Yeah. I think I jumped the gun a little bit there. Oh, no, no. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. We didn't see that. It's all good. We didn't see that. I did not just brainstorm into an asset. We didn't brainstorm. No, that didn't. We're all good. I want to read out Evil Green's story. You'll appreciate this recent Mav game I had was just facing down lethal zombie tokens from a Liliana Ultimate at opponent's end of turn, but opponent is also at 4. All I have in hand is Endurance plus green card, but I'm tapped out, Questing Beast is in the graveyard. I go for the only out, pitch, casting Endurance to shuffle Questing Beast back in, untap and draw Green Sun Zenith, swing through the zombies with Questing Beast. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Love it. Love it. This is cool. This is all good. We're just getting out the cobwebs, and we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine, right? Yeah, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. All right. Here we go. Hey, Vegeta, too kind. 8 months is very cool, so a huge thank you. I'm pretty happy to keep this. Turn 1 Dryad Arbor, turn 2 Uro. Flooded Strand. Volk. Bolt. Okay. That's fair. I'm actually pretty happy here just to try to build up my board a little bit. Get a Noble Hierarch and then potentially play this Uro around Daze, or get a Daze here. I'll go for birds, because down the line, the birds could potentially be a blocker for a turn. Mountain, okay. Unholy Heat, that's fine. Oh, it's actually pretty good. I will play that around Daze. Force pitch force, that's more than fine. Saga. Okay. Interesting. Ponder. Now I'm a little bit off. I'm not too sure what this is. Disrespecting that Exalted. Yeah, I think if I did think they were going to be on Blue-Red Delver. So there was a potential there where having the flying and blocking a creature is better than the Exalted. Chose to not shuffle. Okay. Well, speaking of Exalted... I guess that is the downside of playing blue in my my deck, is that main deck Pyroblast is now online. I'm also not caring about Blood Moon here because of the Saga. Could be some kind of standstill, that's very correct. Alright. Forest. Alright. How do I want to do this? I will play this for turn. Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Surely not a second Pyroblast. Please. A Force would be brutal here as well, because I assume with the Saga they have a target for like graveyard hate. Ah, tough. I'll let them have the Saga for now. There is a world where I don't want to hit it. I also want to find out what this deck is. Because if they have like a Shadow Spear in the main deck, I kind of just want a Swords in response to Equip. But they have a Relic. Yeah. That's not the worst. There's a world here where we can kind of... I guess they can just exile it as well with the mana up, so... Interesting. They could have fetched first because they have a Shuffle off the Ponder in case they hit 3 really good cards. Now if they want to exile our graveyard, they do have to fetch. No, I guess they can't attack either. Could have played the Misty to play around the Relic, but... And probably should have, but I feel like with a Brainstorm, potentially I could keep the Misty and try to Brainstorm into Green Suns to shuffle. And with 5 mana on the board, we have more than enough mana to do everything else, so... I think I'm pretty happy. Not happy, but I'm in a position where I can lose the Uro. We have another one in the bin. But I could see these constructs just taking over the game as well. Another Saga is very good. Okay. I could go for like Collect Oof, but then they still just have most likely 2 5/5s. I could go for Night of Autumn, but that only hits 1. Questing Beast attacks for 5, but they can create a Thopter and then block as well. There isn't really a great card to get. It might just be QB and see how they block. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, I could get Oof there because they didn't respond, but I don't think Oof is a winning line because then they still have just 2 4/4s that are pretty much unbeatable. But yeah, like, I'll bring in the Force of Vigors, which does also hit Painter, which is nice. But otherwise, it's pretty tough. Alright. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Let me know in the comments how you would sideboard. I'll also show numbers here. There we go. Apologies. I do like the removal suite. It could just be cutting down on these. And then one more. It's probably just an endurance. But it's tough. I could see like a call going out and endurance staying in if it really is Painter, but it's always tough. This is just one of those awkward hands that's not really doing anything until turn 3, so pretty happy to mulligan this. Okay, we have a pretty good hand here. Bottom the Emrakul, and then we have a turn 1 Noble into turn 2 Sylvan Library, hopefully. Yeah, maybe the wishes are where I want to cut. The surgicals aren't too relevant. And like Mindbreak Trap isn't too relevant. And if I'm bringing in the Force of Vigors, then yeah, that's actually a great point. Like if I'm bringing in like the swords and the prismatic, then I can probably just cut the 4 Cunning Wishes. probably just bolt on Noble here, seeing that I missed a land drop. Okay. Yeah, it's very true. Having the actual spell is probably a lot better. Okay. The tough thing here as well is that Knight is probably more of a reactive spell. I kind of just want to play Knight here as a 4/3. The weird thing is that I'm actually not going to play around Blood Moon because of my opponent having Urza's Saga in the deck. And then I still have like hardcast Fortificator next turn anyway. So I don't think we need the Knight of Autumn here. They missed on the iteration as well, which is quite nice for us. Okay. That's your turn. Okay. Oh, not the land that I want, but I'll still play it because it means Paradox Zone next turn. I think I'm okay just allowing this to slide. That is a Trop and Tundra, you see, that is correct. Alright. I'm not going to throw this Brainstorm into Pyroblast either. I could Brainstorm in response to this. I probably want to. They have 2 cards left. Okay. Put this on top. Put the fetch on top. I'm not going to Swords here either. I do like wastelanding them though, because it means that they either have to have a land or a fetch land. A land or a mana source to activate the Grindstone. Like we can respond to them fetching by like Swordsing the Painter. And then even then it's not the worst because we have the Emrakul on top, so we know that the combo is not going to work. So I could try to Swords now, they Pyroblast, and then we force in response. I don't think like doing anything in response to the fetch changes that because they can just do it after anyway. Upkeep, I'll fetch. They'll respond with Grindstone. Oh, that's all good. I actually should have tried to do this in their turn because of Force of Vigor only working in their turn. That was a huge misplay, but I guess I have a little bit of a safeguard because of Emrakul in the deck, which is nice. So I might even just allow this to happen. Like, did they think about Emrakul? Like, I don't think so. Oh, blast on this. Okay, well now we can swords this, and you no longer lose this, and then we have lethal on board? Oh my gosh. Oh, haha. So good. Nice. Oh, they got a 5. I guess then I am getting Dryad Arbor, because then we have Knight and Dryad Arbor as lethal threats the following turn. Oh, of course we draw the Exalted card. Okay, well now we can board a little bit better as well. So we have the 3 Cunning Wishes, which we can just drop, and that means we can bring in the Prismatic Ending, the Swords. I probably don't mind the Fluster, to be honest. I think this is going to be it. I think this is pretty strong. I do like the Endurance though, because it does allow us to get out of a situation where they do go for it and get us. So I guess I was like, it's tough because we did have lethal, but they also had the combo on board, so that's why I kind of went to my turn. Also because of the Emrakul, but yeah, interesting match. It could be the Caracas that I actually take out here and just get down to 22 lands. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind this hand. Got a bit of everything. Very reactive, but I think that's okay. Boseiju getting around Blood Moon as well is really nice. MTGO Premium paying off. Okay. I'm going to play out the Windswept because it allows us to hold up basic forest. Although if they play a Blood Moon, I don't really mind because we have the Force of Vigors. But if they play a Magus of the Moon, I do want white mana for Swords to Plowshares. So potentially the play is just Savannah Pass, which allows us to hold up turn 1 Swords, and then the following turn we can actually play Fetch Land, hold up Boseiju, which is kind of cool. So I actually don't mind that. Who came up with this? This was a player, Christian, from the Zenith Discord, which is my new Discord, which you can find here. And they were just toying around with a list where, yeah, you had a combo finish in Maverick, and that was Show and Tell. And yeah, it looks pretty... It's always fun to play around with half and half decks. Now the question is, do I want to play the Windswept Heath? Or play the Savannah? The Windswept Heath is a resource because it is a fetch land, and it's also my blue source. I don't mind just going Savannah Pass. Hey Professor, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Two mana, iteration. Okay. So next turn I get to just hold up Endurance, which is quite nice. I wouldn't actually mind another land here. Show and Tell. We'll keep that. So I guess this Windswept is most likely going for a Tundra. I might actually just go for Trop. Yeah. On day 2 of quarantine? Hey, we'll hope you feel better soon. Hopefully your symptoms are mild. Okay. Cradle's kind of nice because it means I can hold up just hardcast Force of Vigor and then keep a Dryad Arbor for a way to fetch it. Or pitch it, sorry. And the 3/4 body of endurance is really nice. Outside of Unholy Heat, they don't have many ways of answering it. They could just try to like grindstone us. Yeah, and they are. Okay. They grindstone themselves. Interesting. I guess grindstone's another way to get out of a brainstorm lock, which is kind of cool. That makes me think they have some sort of way to get stuff back, like a golem of some kind. A goblin, sorry. Most likely aches and sneezes. Yeah, I had COVID and I had very mild, pretty mild symptoms compared to everyone else, so very, very fortunate. Green Suns. Okay. So now I'm happy to play the Dryad Arbor. And probably start with... I was thinking Collector Oof. I could also go for Night of Autumn. Collector Oof is nice because then I get to hold up 2 mana for Boseiju. But I don't want to go to attacks because there is a world where my opponent bolts the Dryad Arbor before my main phase 2, where Cradle would then only tap for 1. So I think we will just try to go for... What's the context of Preschool? So it's a deck with little creatures, and it ends with Show and Tell. So that's kind of where I got the name from. Interesting. Yeah, I don't mind Oof here. I believe my opponent will have a bolt at this stage. Yeah. And that's fine. Unholy Heat. Yeah. Instant enchantment because of the saga. Ah, interesting. They're using Grindstone to turn on Unholy Heat. That's very cool. I'm going to tell my opponent that's actually pretty cool. I don't have a way currently to change that, so I will just let this resolve. What are we showing in? We're hopefully showing in Omniscience, but we do have Emrakul and Grizzlebrand in the deck, and we do usually have a Cunning Wish deck, a Cunning Wish line, but just not here. This could be fetch a land, play Painter, and then just have 3 mana open. Murktide, okay. Relic. Relic's okay. Just for mana here, I will use the swords on the Murktide. But Relic with Murktide is very cute because you can keep growing the Murktide, which is pretty awesome. Get rid of the swords. I wouldn't mind them bolting here. No. I'd love to be able to hit the Relic and the Grindstone with them tapped out so they don't draw a card off the Relic. But we could have just an old-fashioned Dryad Arbor beatdown here. I am not playing Pioneer. I played it once, playing like an Abzan deck. It was pretty cool. I think it was a pretty aggressive deck that capped out at 3 mana. Yeah, sorry. I wanted them to tap off mana, so they didn't have the 1 mana up to get rid of it. Do I ever play Modern? Yeah, I played Modern on the weekend at Eternal Masters playing Blue-Red Murktide. I went 3-2-1. Very cool deck, though. That is going to be fine. I should have actually wastelanded them. I meant to wasteland them. That's me just kind of being there with chat. What was my draw? It was Mill, interestingly enough. I'm going to keep the Oof just in case we draw into Endurance to Endurance ourselves. And I will use a Force of Vigor here, because we still have 2 mana open for Boseiju, which is nice. I think because of that, I might hit the Grindstone and the Relic, and then potentially try to Boseiju the Painter in response, and that way I get all 3. Because if I force the Painter and the Grindstone, they have Pyroblast, to then allow that to resolve, or to happen, I have to get rid of the Painter again. So I don't mind that. Blast. Get the forest. Boseiju this. Yeah, Boseiju's pretty sweet. I also had the option of just Boseiju the Painter. Keep the Force, but I do want to get rid of the Relic at some point. And with my library right now pretty low on resources, I don't really mind that. The main uses of my graveyard against this deck right now are going to be shuffle back in with... Okay, interesting. Canopy, okay. I will draw a card first. Prismatic Ending, okay. The question is, do I care about the Grindstone? I guess I do if they have like Painter and then Pyroblast as well as their last 2, or like top card and 2 in hand. So I think I'd rather just get rid of the Grindstone here. Yeah, because if they play an Urza Saga, I really want to force that. And I'm going to hold the Wasteland here. I don't think taking them off of Volk at this stage is relevant. What's relevant is me being able to attack and also hold up Force of Vigor Hardcast. Okay. Get rid of the Prismatic. Boseiju. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. Because it allows us to play around the Pyroblasts. I'm also going to keep the Wasteland for Saga as well, so... They could potentially just pop this Relic here. They hit Misty, Night of Autumn. Pond is going to be okay. The upside of wasting their current mana base is that it stops them from being able to do something like play Painter and then straight away hold up Grindstone. Okay. Let's take out the Force of Vigor. What did I go down to? Like a Bant sort of Narset Teferi mid-range deck. I'll untap and draw. Library. Okay. I think here I just have to get rid of the Retro because it's just so good with this mana that I also have to get rid of the Grindstone just to take them off the ability to untap, play a Painter, and pass, so... they have 2 cards in hand, so actually I will use the Boseiju here to make this uncounterable. Just in case they have like Force blue card. How difficult was learning the curve for OBS to start streaming YouTube? Not very, which is really nice. There's a lot of really good YouTube tutorials, and there's one in particular that I really like, Mighty Penguin. So if you want to send me a like a PM on Twitch, I'll definitely link you after the stream, because there's one that's obviously a lot really good that I found really great. Do they attack? I don't know if they attack. They do attack. Okay. Fair. Take out the library. Eldamri's Call. Yes. Alright, they have 2 cards. Are we just getting Emrakul here? I mean, we could get Questing Beast, but I think Emrakul is pretty good, let's be honest. It's just a case of like if they have one piece of the combo in hand, then it's really tough. Grizzle isn't too bad either. Like I could go down. This is a tough one, chat. What do you think? What do you think? Is a Grizzle go to 8? I guess go to 6 because of the Boseiju, which does put me in double Bolt range. We have seen Bolt before. I think it's just... I think for flavor, it just has to be Emrakul. Yeah, Grizzlebrand is a little bit safer. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna go for M. I'm gonna go for M. Yeah, do what we came for, exactly. Oh, they put in nothing? Hey, Yorg, that's very true. Kind of feels like we both have a two card combo. Are we getting on the board? Yeah, I think at this stage it is probably best to use this Wasteland because it is just sitting down right now. Ah, they've drawn an out. Was it Ensnaring Bridge? Ah, return this to my hand. Nice. All right, the games go on. The games go on. I will Wasteland this. And also think about clock. I am 4 minutes down, so I do need to keep rolling here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This can't tap. No. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 9 to go. 9 to go. We'll be sweet. I think Endurance is probably my best card here because it's a 3/4 body that also just gets rid of their graveyard for something like a Murktide. We do have the Swords to Plowshares, but I think right now it's what I need. pretty good. Oof. Yeah. If they don't attack with the servo, I will attack the Narset. I'll swords the servo, then attack a Narset to make sure they have to lose it if they want to take it down again. Alright, Questing Beast. I call you. I call you, Questing Beast. Close. Very close. Oh, no, the second time. Ah. That's a massive yikes. That's a massive yikes. I don't play blue. Ah. Adjust. We'll be all good. Now I kind of hope they gridlock us. Yikes. Yeah. That's tough as well. It's just one of those things where you just see it and you're like, that's it. Tough. Yeah, I don't think we're getting out of this, unfortunately. We have the swords on top, but then it's just not really getting there. Tough. Would have been interesting to go for Grizz. Would have been interesting to go for Grizz. What are we doing with Boseiju and Cradle? You will see, my friend. You will see. I'm not a big fan of one-landers here, so I will get rid of this. Look, it's not a one-lander, but it's not the best either. Whew. I guess we have turn 1 Zenith and then turn 2 Knight. Put back the Excavator, potentially. I could also put back the Omniscience. I think it's the Omniscience. Play the fair game and then over time find the combo again. I guess we could also go for play Boseiju, go and get Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, and then the Misty can get a Tundra, which gives us access to the Brainstorm and White for the night on turn 2, which is pretty cool. Opponent's gone to 5 cards. Tough. Both games, Brainstorm into Narset. Come on, man. Come on. All right. Nice. Opponent on 6 cards. Reanimator. Not the worst. Unmask themselves. Grizzlebrand. If you purchase the Mythic Event token, you can't actually see the grief. I think in response to the grief, I'll concede. We do have... Yeah, because surely with one hit of the Grizzlebrand, they can find a Archon, which can take over the game. I'd rather hide the Brainstorm here. If you purchase the Mythic Event token, you can't actually use it to enter any event unless you buy a second. Yeah, I believe most of the big events are like 50 or 2 tokens to get in, which is really weird. But I guess the value of the 25 is that it does give you access to the tokens. So it's kind of like using a rental service for a few weeks. I think we're taking out the show and tells, which means we're probably taking out these. Probably the Cunning Wishes as well. I like the Forces for Animate Dead. I like the Surgicals. I like the Mind Breaks. I like the Flusters. I definitely like the Deafening Silences. And I also like the Swords. That's actually quite nice because it actually moves around pretty well. Hey, Maverick Joe. Too kind again with the subs. Thank you very much. Sleep Talk, Ramar, Toxie, Rain, and Yule, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you all in chat. Too kind, Joe. Just always. I hope you're doing well. Hope the family's well. Hope the trucking's gone well. Welcome. I think this is fine. Like, just try to have some sort of interaction turn 1. I mean, Deafening Silence is what I really want to have. That stops any sort of Dark Ritual starts, which are probably the best starts on the draw for them. And this is... tough. It's got the silence, but it doesn't have much else. And most likely my opponent goes for basics early on, so the Wastelands aren't really spell lands in that case. If I did keep this, I'd go Misty into Savannah into Deafening Silence, which would allow us to turn to Noble and also Wasteland. If I go Tundra first, I can't, of course, cast the Noble of the Tundra. My usual thought process against Reanimator is have at least 2 pieces of interaction. And I think I am here. I think I am going down. They may look into 6 as well. Now this is an interesting one. The Fluster doesn't stop Animate Dead, but the Force of Vigor does. The Fluster doesn't stop Grief, which is a big difference to Unmask. But here we just have a Birds into like a turn 2... nothing really. The one-lander, or the no-lander I should say, unfortunately. We do have the Surgical, but there is a better 4. This isn't it. But I could keep these 4. I mean, the 3 would have to be good. The 3 would have to be Deafening Silence, land, something else. Which means that the first hand was just a lot better. I'm not sure if Minsc and Boo is on MTGO yet. I assume so, because Commander Legends is out, but I know there's been some cards that aren't. Alright. Silent Surgical Land would be very cool. Okay. I kind of just hope they take the swords here, and then we can brainstorm potentially into surgical. Giving us a turn. Okay. Haha. I probably want to brainstorm right now in case I hit White Source and Deafening Silence. Or... It's tough though, because I assume what's going to be happening here is an end step Entomb. But there's no real point holding up the brainstorm. I guess the tough part is not hitting a White Source either, but we'll see what happens. To hold up the sword. Ooh, okay. Okay. A bit better. Put back the Boseiju. This is tough because I kind of want to put the Endurance on top. It could potentially... I could hide the Plow, but I was happy to give them the thought, because if they take the Plow and then we brainstorm into something like an instant speed effect, it would have been pretty sweet. Even like Endurance and green card. Maybe the trap is just too slow. Because if they end step Entomb, untap, reanimate, that's only one spell. If they have nothing, there's a world where they have untap, red land, faithless looting, most likely then into reanimate spell. If they do like a Lotus Petal in between, that is 3, but that takes a fair bit. I think it is put back Mindbreak Trap and then put back Boseiju, play the Misty, and then if they don't go off next turn, where we don't have to fetch 2 swords in response, we can then just draw the Boseiju for the 3rd land for Endurance. Nothing. There's the looting. Okay, there's one. I really hope we don't get got here. I guess there's also a world where we hide the Endurance and keep the Boseiju, but then if we have to fetch, we lose the Endurance, which is huge. Unmask. Yeah, they have 1 card. Ah, that is the 3rd as well. Tough. Really tough. Okay. I don't think we have a way back from that where they're drawing 8 a turn and we're playing an endurance. Tough. Yeah, maybe the Deafening Silence hand would have been okay, but it's always tough keeping a 5-lander against a deck that is most likely to be fetching out basics. And then the 6 was an okay hand in the blind, but against a Reanimate deck, it didn't really have anything to get going, which is always tough. I could see an extra library in this list to be able to filter a little bit more for either side of the deck. It could be something like the extra endurance in the sideboard and then go up on library. Not really needing the endurance for sort of the graveyard hate in game 1 because we do have Cunning Wish for surgical as an out for that as well, as kind of a 3-drop slot, which is pretty cool. Also cool that you can Cunning Wish for Force of Vigor, and then Force of Vigor something. Cunning Wish is just a really cool card, especially at instant speed. All right, let's get a win on the board. Yeah, the deck's pretty cool. I think it does. It does suffer from being a half and half deck, where it's half a show and tell deck, or half as good as a show and tell deck, half as good as a Maverick deck, if not less than half. But it is fun to play. Just don't brainstorm into assets. And I feel like the Cunning Wish package is just really strong. To have the Green Suns package, the Cunning Wish package, the Knight of the Reliquary lands package, definitely feels like, I don't know, it just feels like it's close to lining up, but yeah. Yeah, I could see the Excavator going to the board. With the Canopy, it's quite nice. Obviously, the Wasteland Lock is real. And even getting things back, like fetch lands, can be relevant for the Brainstorms, which is cool. Yeah, exactly. We did have a few lists. We were looking at a card as well called... Did I get any? I think I did. Yeah, Moon Blessed Cleric, which is a 3-drop 3/2 that when it comes into play, you can search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and then shuffle and put it to the top. So you can go and fetch Omniscience, but you could also go and get a Sylvan Library, which is nice. But I didn't like that it didn't put it in hand. That was the big thing. And if you don't have Show and Tell in hand, then getting the Omniscience turns you off like a draw to go and get Show and Tell. So I ended up cutting this for the third Cunning Wish. But pretty interesting. I probably should have like a Stifle in the sideboard as well for Cunning Wish. Cool deck. A lot of things to map out for sure. But Cunning Wish being a 3-mana instant surgical or Mindbreak trap is where the really cool stuff is. Hey Chuck, welcome. Yeah, so this was a donation list for a player who wanted to see what Maverick would look like with some sort of combo plan in it that isn't sort of Dark Depths, which you traditionally see. And Show and Tell is the one that they came up with, which is very cool. All right. Urion, I don't mind this hand. Mana's going to be great. We have some early interaction with Swords to Plowshares and a Green Suns to go and find a threat. Pretty happy to keep this. Flooded Strand. Okay. So it won't be D&T. Tundra. Swords is fine. Okay. Now we're getting closer. They play Boseiju. They play Library. Alright, now I need to draw a land for Night of Autumn. Nice. I will go for a Trop here. They have 5 cards in hand. So most likely just a value Yorion deck. There's probably a world as well where I should just be playing a Show and Tell in the board in case you draw into Cunning Wish. Because then at least you can Cunning Wish for Show and Tell as well. The Ponder chose to shuffle. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. That could be, yeah, maybe Cunning Wish, yes. Yeah, I don't think it is a instant and sorcery. Instant card, yeah, you're correct. I think Wish then does allow you to get just the one. The Library resolving through a Force Negation makes me think they have a Prismatic Ending in the hand or a Narset. Or potentially it's a Fairy to bounce it, but then we have the Knight. Yeah, okay. They've already used 2 swords though, which is nice for us. It's a Fairy. Get back the swords. It's pretty good. A little too late. They do currently only have 1 white source, however. But I think we're just too far behind, because we have to cast the Endurance in response to the Fairy, which means they can just bounce it. But we're not really winning if we're just untapping and doing nothing. I think just because of Murktide, I will put away. I guess we do have the 2 swords, but There is a world where we keep it. I assume with the blue, with the green, they might be casting Uro, so taking that away from them is kind of nice. We also know they have Force. We do have Dryad Arbor, which could potentially steal that Narset. Spellseeker is pretty cool, yeah. I like Spellseeker. Alright. Attack Narset, attack Teferi. They probably have their own endurance. Ah, just ending. Okay. Yep. Alright, Juggle, this is your third time. Do not brainstorm into a Narset. Just want to see a bit more of their deck. I definitely don't see us winning this game, but there's definitely some information to be got. Especially the creatures that they run. Hey, Liquor Boring, welcome. Hope you're well. Too kind. Too kind, Liquor Boring. Okay. Start with swords. Yeah, the introduction of one-sided planeswalkers was definitely a turning point for a lot of players, especially in Legacy. Yeah, Joe, for you it's definitely a one a month. I am more than happy to do that for you. I'm going to take a game action here. Possibly get rid of this loam. Okay. That's fair. The really tough thing about blue Maverick or blue decks in general right now is that the prevalence of main deck Pyroblast is in a lot of decks, which does open you up to a lot of a lot of hate that doesn't typically hit the deck. But it will be interesting to see here how my opponent gets a win. Just a third Narset. Cool. Cool. I assume it's Uro. I assume Uro is a way to get the win here. They've lost the Urion. Swords just to stay at 7 cards, potentially? I don't mind hitting the library here. Taiga. Oof. Okay. Just Beast Pass. Hey, thanks, Joe. All the best. Hope you're doing well. They're now to 39 cards. Just trying to get a force out of their hand before I play the Questing Beast. I wonder if they play Field of the Dead. Potentially. Hey, Ari, good to see you as well. A lot of filtering here. There actually is a new card in Commander Legends that I am very keen on. And it might not be the card that a lot of people think it is. It's actually this card. Wilson Refined Grizzly. It is a 2-mana legendary creature. This spell can't be countered. Vigilance, Reach, Trample, Ward 2, 2/2. Which I think fits the role of a 2-drop beater in Maverick really well, especially in a green-white build with something like a Stoneforge Mystic package, because that bear with a sword on it is really strong, and the Ward 2 means that against something like Delver, you can cast it on turn 2 because it is not going to be hit by counter magic, which is fantastic, and it takes 3 mana to bolt it, it takes 3 mana to Prismatic Ending it, because you can, I think you can pay the ward cost in colors, and then the Prismatic Ending will resolve with those colors in a way. Ah, there's an Uro. Okay. I guess we could draw into Caracas. Just naturally. Oh, I'd have to ending before the ward trigger is separate. Apologies, that's true, because they cast it and then the ward trigger happens. That's very true. Yeah, especially with Mother Runes, like the bear seems really strong. And with Caracas, you can of course protect it, which is cool. It has Reach, which is relevant. It has Vigilance as well, so you don't have to like keep it as a blocker as well. I assume this just gets forced, but oh, Fluster. Okay. Another Uro on the bin's pretty nice. I guess there's a world where like maybe the endurances on them was just not what I should be doing, and trying to mill them is a thing. I guess they could endurance themselves. I assume endurance is in the list somewhere. Okay. Well, we can't draw, but we can put this into the bin. Sure. It's definitely tough with the bolt argument because there's so many little factors. Like having like 4 mums in the deck means that a bolt is probably going at the mum, so there's less likely to be a bolt for the bear. Could have like a Caracas to save it. 2 for 5. It does reduce the cost of Boseiju. That's also something to think about. That's hilarious. But yeah, it seems cool. I know that Tarmogoyf saw play in Maverick in the early days as just a beater. So it's nice to know that this does a little bit more. Obviously a little bit more protected. And I've been having, like, other than actual removal spells, it can be tough dealing with creatures in the air outside of Scrib Ranger. Is Caracas in the bin? It is not. Damn. What do I dislike more than expressive iteration in my opponent's turn? 2 in my turn! Force negation. Nice. Oh, Emrakul would actually be pretty cool here. Because I could cast it in response to the Omniscience. I assume they have a counterspell for the show and tell, but... Discard 3. With pleasure. Does this deck have an out to Caracas on Uro? We haven't seen one yet, which is interesting. We see the Loam, but we haven't seen a Wasteland yet. I guess that is a lock. Loam, Uro, Colosseum, Loop would be Caracas eventually. Well, the Caracas, I guess the Caracas in play wouldn't be able to be dealt with, which would be pretty tough. This is going to be a tough one. Yes, yes, yes. I don't mind the surgicals for Uro. I also don't mind just having the Cunning Wishes as potentially, maybe not. The Oof is definitely coming out. The Cradle's coming out. Ramming Up still seems great against their mana base. The Show and Tell plan, not so much, but there's definitely a world where we could try to like build a version of the deck that can just side out. I think it's 12 cards in total. 13. Yeah. But Endurance, Knight of Autumn, Night, Row all seem great. Fluster in the deck. I kind of like having the Cunning Wishes. It could just be cutting down on wishes. I don't mind the Fluster then. I could trim on a Noble. I still don't mind the library, but it's definitely tough. It's a little bit better on the play, especially in our opening. The Emerald's pretty funny. I think as a 6 I'd be happy to keep this, so pretty happy to go Trop into Green Suns for Dryad Arbor to draw into a 3-drop on turn 2, and if we don't, we have Fetch Land into Brainstorm into Fetch Land, which is nice. Okay. I'm gonna, because we have the mana here, I'm gonna untap, draw a card, and then Brainstorm. Wasteland's actually really strong here. I'll waste first. No float. Okay. Put on top, put on top. And then just hold up endure. To be fair, I think I'm keeping the Emerald because of just show and tell over the top. I want something live. But now I do just want to pass with Endurance up. Just gonna get a Plains. I'm gonna do nothing here. Okay. Library not so great here because for them, like having a turn 3 drop of either Teferi Bounce, draw a card which replaces itself, or Narset. It's actually pretty tough because we have the creatures on board, so I can see why they forced the library there. If they play an Uro here, I'm pretty happy just to swords it before anything in case they play Caracas and then can protect it. Teferi. Okay. They could tick it up to 5. That doesn't really do anything though. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Oh, we're so close to... Oh, I guess we took out the Cradle, but I'm so close to just casting the Emrakul off my creatures. I think the safe bet here is just a pass with the Endurance open. Iteration is fine. There is a world actually where playing the Knight is better because getting a row with the Endurance just has that added benefit of keeping them off. I am going to target them as well just because of Uro. Do we keep in Ramanap? Yes. I will fetch, because I probably want to attack with the Dryad Arbor this turn. Get a forest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Force it, sure. All right. I'll call. Potentially just get another I guess we could just get another Endurance here. Let's see if this happens. At least if they force this, then they don't have a force for the sword. I'm going to attack Narset with both in case I have swords on the Endurance, just to put the Narset down to 2. And then I will put Lethal on the board. Doesn't play around like Terminus or Supreme Verdict, but we can hope that this is enough. Okay. Getting Sanctuary there makes me think they don't have a sweeper, which is great for us. Can we do it? Can we do it with Questing Beast? Force pitching Yorion. Alright. Two cards. This mana base. This mana base is crazy. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, even the Dryad Arbor is so close to being lethal. Turns off fetch lands, which is nice. I'm just going to hold the Boseiju in case it's relevant. Something like Back to Basics. But this Emrakul has just been dead. I should have put it back, to be fair. Alright, my opponent has to win in a very short amount of time, so I do want the extra swords for sure. I actually don't mind the Deafening Silences, which aren't great, but I think in this, yeah, it's pretty tough for them to win in that case. So I guess, look, we get there in a fashion that I didn't really want to win in, but that is MTGO sometimes. But yeah, this I think a sideboard for the blue decks would be nice. Maybe even a Carpet of Flowers would be pretty interesting for the blue decks, so I can actually hard cast my fatties. Because that would be pretty cool if they're going to bring in some sort of hate like Pyroblast for show and tell decks, and having the Carpet of Flowers as an edge to actually just cast Grizzlebrand is pretty awesome. Yeah, that deck in paper as well would kind of be like the 4-color deck in Modern at the moment. There's just a lot of things to do that it just takes up a bunch of time to actually get to a stage where you can win. At least the Modern deck has a few ways to win. That deck looks to rely on Uro pretty much. You do have Yorion, I guess, but a lot of fluff. A lot of fluff in the deck. I'm gonna just put on some track pants because it's getting really cold. There we go. Yeah, I have a coworker over in the UK at the moment who said, yeah, she said there was a big heat wave in the UK, which is pretty tough. Up against elves. Okay. Against elves, his hand isn't too great. But we do have Show and Tell Omniscience, so I think we see how this goes. Hey Boyd, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Opponent goes to 6. You do see a pen in my ear. I was writing before and then I forgot to remove it. And now it actually feels quite warm. So I'm gonna keep it. Once. Looking sharp. Well, it is a fine pen, so thank you, Boyd. Thank you anyway. I think I'll dig here. The problem is if I want to find a source to Plowshares, I probably want to get Tundra here and then Brainstorm and then untap. Because if I untap and don't find a white source and a swords, then I'm using my whole turn on the Brainstorm. Okay. Put back the Boseiju and put back a Hierarch. The issue is that we have Show and Tell Omniscience, but nothing else. We have no payoff. Which is fine. That happens. So potentially I want to keep both creatures. I think in that case it's going to be put back a Noble and then put Misty on top. And then draw the Misty. Play the Misty. Fetch away the Boseiju. Get a Savannah. Play the Noble. And then just hope we get a turn. Yeah, that 4-color loam deck, that 4-color deck was pretty greedy. Okay, double Wirewood. Okay, not too bad. Oh, attacking. I like it. Misty. Okay. I don't think I want to Show and Tell just yet. I think here it's just going to be play Wasteland, play Night of Autumn, gain 4 life. I could make a 4/3. I'm just trying to think of Cradlehoof math. Untap. They play... let's say worst case is probably Cradle. They then have 5 mana. They use 1 for a 1-drop and then natural order it away. Cradlehoof triggers. It'll be 5 plus 4 on each, which would be nearly lethal with Trample. I kind of want to keep the Misty for now and probably hold back the... No, let's just do this. I think the gain 4 is actually better here. Like if I can trade with one of their creatures, I'd be fine, and I currently can. Well, there's the Cradle. Oh, they're just going to natural order now. Okay. Oh, main deck Progenitus. Okay. Well, that's not too bad, because we can get out of it, surely. I could have also just wastelanded that. Probably incorrect. Oh, well, that's why. I guess we get a turn here. We have a few good outs. We have Cunning Wish, we have Eldamri's Call, we have Emrakul by itself. I don't want to fetch here either, just in case there's a world where we can take one more hit and stay at 11 and go to 1. Fiend's going to make it tough. Oh, we drew it. 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 All right. So we want to go Show and Tell. Omniscience. What do they have? Okay. Cast Cunning Wish. Shed Summons. Play Shed Summons. Oh no! No! Cast this for free. Go and get Grizzlebrand and Emrakul. Cast. Yes! Yes! Just when you thought it was over, we got there. All right. Game 2. Okay. I think we're just trying to combo faster than them. I do like the traps. I do like the prismatic. I do like the swords. The collector oof can come out. I think the Sylvan Library is probably a little bit too slow. The Ramanap is too slow. The endurances are just too slow as well. The Knight of Autumn can come out as well, which means I probably just want to bring in the Fluster. I don't mind Fluster in response to like creature pass. We play a land pass and they go glimpse. We can then Fluster that, which is pretty cool. They probably play Thoughtseize. Could just be the Zone. It might just be the Ramanap. Yeah. Ramanap as a 2/3 is relevant. Getting back small lands can be relevant as well, especially if the game goes grindy. But yeah, for those of you who are unaware, Testers are a very proficient Legacy player. Especially Legacy Elves player. Okay. I think this is just a bit too fair for Elves. Turn 2 Knight doesn't really do a whole lot. I really want to have a hand with some sort of turn 1 interaction, like Swords to Plowshares. Or have a good way to combo off early on. And this just doesn't get there. This is a hand where my opponent just says, you can have a knight, that's fine. I'm just going to do my thing and go off. So I'm going to mulligan this hand. I will keep this. I also get to bottom a land, which is quite nice. Opponent also wants 6. Birchlaw, okay. Emrakul, alright. So I could go Plains Swords, but I think here I want to go Windswept into Savannah Swords, which allows me to untap and then play Bird and potentially wasteland my opponent in the same turn, which is quite nice. I don't want to bottleneck my mana. And the Bird is a good way to get blue mana, of course. I'm also pretty resourceful as well with my my swords, because you only have so many, so typically I try to go and get Duress. Okay, there goes Cunning Wish. I typically try to get like a Wirewood or a creature that actually does something like a Shepherd, but it can be tough at times. Play the bird, and I am going to use the Wasteland here on the Bayou. I have gone after their mana so far, so I'd rather take the Bayou out here than keep it for a Cradle that they might or might not have. All right. And this Misty next turn is just huge because it's oh, okay. It signifies Dryad Arbor, which is just a blocker here. So what we're going to do here is play the Plains, cast the Uro, and then put in the Misty. Yeah, really nice basics as well. I'm a big fan of these. Mindbreak here, not the greatest, but that's okay. And they attack with both, so I actually am going to block here with a Dryad Arbor and take one out, because that also makes Cradle a lot worse. We're also on 3 mana, which is more than fine. Cradle ourselves, interesting. We only have 1 blue at the moment, so we actually can't cast the Uro in the bin. Or hard cast the Mindbreak Trap for that matter. So we have a lot of good top decks here. We have Green Suns for 3. We have a land that turns into... It's pretty good. Yeah, a land that could be a green source, a blue source as well, like a fetch land. Green Suns. All right. Also, relevant here, Allosaurus Shepherd says that green spells you control can't be countered, but Mindbreak Trap doesn't counter spells, it exiles them. So you can still Mindbreak Trap a Thrun the Last Troll, even though it says it can't be countered, which is pretty cool. Canopy, okay. I'm gonna use this to draw a card here, probably just off the plains. Boseiju, sure. That's probably worth keeping for Cradle. Okay. There's a Cradle. And there's a Visionary. Okay. I probably don't mind just Boseijuing the Cradle right now. Cunning Wish. We can get an instant. I guess Shed Summons is an instant. Surgical's an instant. I guess we could like hit the Cradles potentially. It seems like they're trying to go wide with their mana. Ah, QB is legendary, so we do have the mana left over. That's very correct. Yeah. Double Thoughtseize, Verdant. Yikes. Progenitus. Fiend Artisan is really cool. I know Newton has also been testing out Fiend Artisan. Duress. Okay. Yeah, this it's come up a few times where the deck is kind of doing half of what Maverick wants to do and half of what Show and Tell wants to do. So you do get stuck in situations like this where it's a little bit iffy, but it's alright. So the hand was double Verdant, double Thoughtseize? Okay. Verdant double Thoughtseize. Fiend. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll see a Thoughtseize here. Ah, okay. So a pretty interesting line here is that my opponent can Thoughtseize the Emrakul to shuffle the Uro back into the deck. Yeah, nice. Ah, oh, no way. They need natural order this turn, I believe. So you can sack another creature, search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, and put it onto the battlefield. So they're going to sack the Visionary. Oh, they could get Grist? Can you go up one? X or less. Okay. That would be actually very cool if they had Grist and then they could fight the Questing Beast. Elvish Reclaimer does buy them a turn. Caracas. Oh, they didn't block with the Reclaimer. I guess it's a pretty tough spot either way. But hey. We finished 2-3, which isn't too bad, especially for this. We did play against those banned sort of 4-color decks twice, which we did find quite tough. And you know, playing in a current metagame with Pyroblast in the main deck for a few decks, it's tough putting yourself in the firing range of those decks. I did like it, however. I don't think I'm going to take this to a challenge. I know I'm not going to take this to a challenge, but I think Leagues is a perfect place to try out a deck like this. And at times it did feel good. I think my first change would probably be cutting an Endurance to the maybe board, adding in another library, and then probably changing something around with the main deck removal and having access to Prismatic Ending in the deck. I think that would be super cool. So having like maybe like a 2-2 split, keeping a sword in the sideboard's kind of nice for the Cunning Wishes, but I think 2-2 is fine. The Uro can really just win games on its own. The Knights are really nice as well. The Ramanap is pretty strong. There are a few matchups where it's just nice to have the Wasteland lock, get back Canopy and draw a card a turn. But if we are going for sort of the combo more than the mid-range line, then I could see the Ramanap going to the board. I could potentially see a Hierarch coming out as well, and going down to a 2-2 split of Hierarch and Bird. That's still 60. The Boseiju was nice. The Boseiju came up a few times. Carpet of Flowers. Carpet of Flowers would be the card that I think would work really well in this deck. I don't currently have any, but I think Carpet in the sideboard would be nice. It's nice to kind of have these cards as my catch-all with Cunning Wish, and then of course a way to win with shared summons, which is really nice. The Boseiju might be a bit cute. Maybe instead of Boseiju, it's worth cutting that for Carpet and then finding another card for Carpet. Spellseeker is pretty cool as well. I guess the only the troublesome thing with Spellseeker is that we can't find it outside of Brainstorm. But Spellseeker finds, I believe it's CMC 2 or less. When Spellseeker enters the battlefield, may search your library for an instant or sorcery card with mana value 2 or less. Okay, which can find Eldamri's Call, it can find Green Suns, it can find Removal and Brainstorm, which is kind of nice. I probably wouldn't mind finding a place for the 4th Brainstorm as well. I think Brainstorm is only going to help the deck achieve finding the one side of the deck that it wants, either that being beatdown or pieces of the combo. So I think this is getting closer to it. The Beast is definitely interesting. Like, maybe this sadly just isn't a world where a deck where we want the Questing Beast. It's always tough to say that as well, because like Beast there against Elves was fantastic. Beast against the Planeswalker decks are fantastic. So if we are in that beatdown plan, then Questing Beast is exactly where we want to be. Show and Tell, Wish, Call, Grizzle, Emery, Omri. Neg1 Beast +1 Uro. The only big thing that I like about Beast is that it is not reliant on the graveyard, which is really nice, unlike Uro and Knight. It can't be blasted, which is a pretty huge one. We had that game there against Blue Red Painter where we lost to double Pyroblast game 1 on Uro. In Uro, we do just have so many copies of it. That's really nice. I think 1 Endurance is still fine, but we do have Cunning Wish for Surgical as well, game 1 against the graveyard decks. I think this package is fine as well. 4 Show and Tell, 3 Cunning Wish, 2 Call, Grizzle, Emery, 2 Omni. Like, those numbers seem fine. But yeah. Really nice to finish with some wins on the board. And a little bit of room for improvement as well to kind of know what to work on in the next few games, because I do want to take this back through a list. It was a donation league that I believe had the double up, so I will be doing a recorded version as well for YouTube, and I think with that version I will take some time to actually think about some of the big weaknesses we came across tonight, and hopefully do better with it soon. But a huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. A huge thank you to the new subs, the new followers. I'm pretty close to 3K followers on Twitch, so if you like this content, it is free. Definitely consider clicking that follow button. I would really appreciate it. If you want to find me on Discord, you can find me here. If you want to find me on YouTube, you can find me here. Of course, you can find me on Twitter as well, and thegreensons.com.au.com. There is no .au there. Apologies. But yeah, really cool hanging out with you guys. I'll be back pretty soon. Probably tomorrow morning. Should be pretty cool. I'll most likely be playing Maverick. I do want to play around with a few new cards, which is cool. So we'll see how those go. But until then, I'm going to quickly see who else is streaming and send you guys over there. But a huge thank you again to Christian for the deck. This is really cool to play, and yeah, definitely be wary of YouTube and check out the second stream there. Hey, Build or Burn. Hopefully you didn't just come in, because I am just about to leave, but I will quickly see if there's anyone else streaming.